to go get my rodeo attire. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be freezing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, great. Yeah, that's awesome. Grandma, that's perfect timing for me. That's why Mateo will not be coming. So.
All right, cool. Go ahead and get started with the statement from Coach, then move to the question.
I'm excited for this last week of basketball in McHale, for the regular season. I'm glad to be home. We're much better at home. Excited to play UCLA again and USC. So, unfortunately, we will not have Kate this weekend. Hopefully, we'll have Kate in the near future, but not this weekend. But I'm hoping to get some other players back with Kate gone. But that's a big loss for us. But I think it's now time to see how everybody else is going to step up.
Speaking of that, what are your thoughts? I know Araya told me online she's doing better.
Yeah.
But as far as your youngsters, how are you going to be able to work with them and be able to do that?
Yeah, so the first person, we're obviously looking to, Koi's been in, she's healthy, just Koi stepping up, and I think she's hungry and ready and knows the importance of these games. Then it's going to be by committee. Lauren knows she has to step up. She had an amazing practice yesterday, so those are the big so far. Nettie has been great, so, Nettie's a freshman, and this is the time when the freshmen, all of them hit the wall, and even some upperclassmen, so, working Nettie, and she has a big opportunity. Gisela, I think they're really important. And Samaji's been practicing well, and then Araya's coming back. So Araya was practicing yesterday. So just kind of like everybody has to step up, and hopefully we get a couple people back. But we know how important Kate is in so many ways, like her leadership, her work ethic, her fire, her scoring inside. All of those things will be missed. So we're hoping that now it gives her a little bit of time to rehab for a couple weeks and then come back. But, she won't be 100%. We know that. But, she's still going to try.
So you mentioned something on the radio show last night that you had a different philosophy this week on who's starting and who's going to get minutes. Can you explain what that's about?
Yeah, so I just felt like we were very, comfortable, and a lot's going on in school, but there's always going to be stuff going on. I think we kind of hit this wall last year, but I felt that the effort and the sense of urgency and those things we always have weren't there the last couple weeks. So I have to find a way to get that, and it wasn't there at Washington State. It's not about winning or losing. It's about, getting the 50-50 balls, wanting it more, not letting someone do the same thing. It's discipline things and mental things that I just can't allow and can't accept. So challenging a team where we have to get better at those things and worked on them. We had an amazing practice yesterday, probably one of our best of the year. And, it's open. So there are our starters now. So we'll see. We're statting everything, and that's from basketball stuff. That's like statistical stuff, like on the stat sheet, all those things. But then it's also passion plays, it's energy, it's touches, and it's body language. So you have to have all those things. Because if you have the best stats and you have bad body language or bad attitude, you're not going to play. Not even start. You're not going to play. And I don't care if we have one post. If it was the only post and I'm dealing with that, then we're going to play without a post. So, and no one really does that. But there are times I felt like there was just more of that. And that's not what we do. And it's not, a lot of it's not directed at teammates or me, it's frustration. But I think that as a team, when things are hard, that's when you have to come together more. And, not when things are easy and it's 70 and sunny outside and you're up by 20. It's really easy to be rah-rah, but how is it going to be when you're at Washington State and you're getting threes all day in the corner? What are you going to do when we know we're not supposed to give those up? So just a different mindset, but the team really responded, so I'm happy. So we'll see tomorrow how that looks. I don't know yet. We'll see.
And, where did you pull this out of your bag, a bag of tricks? How did you come up with deciding to do this?
Well, I just felt like right now we're not playing well. We weren't starting games well. We weren't starting halves well. And so then for me, I don't believe in changing lineups all the time. I don't believe in it. But I think there's a time when you try other solutions. They don't work. You have to do something. So just doing something to help us get back to where we were 3 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago, we were playing really good basketball, and we aren't right now. So finding a way to get a reaction, finding a way to motivate people, and, your starting spot is good motivation. So I always say the best teacher is the bench. So I think that just figuring out who's going to come out, because I'm not going to coach effort, and I'm not going to coach, are we going to hustle after our 50-50 balls? I'm not coaching that. If you're in this program and you play for me, you have to do that. Like, I can coach basketball stuff, like you doing something technically or missing something that you don't know, but I'm not going to coach, like, lack of effort, and that's what we do, and that's how we were good. So getting back to that was just important to me. It's more important than winning right now, to be honest.
Troy?
So is it just simply getting back to the basics of what you guys were doing 3 weeks ago and what you guys do as a program in general?
Yeah, I think at first it's figuring out what the lack of motivation was, but I don't, they're kids, I don't know. Sometimes I just think it's that wall you hear right now. So what do? Do we just sit back and like let it happen and lose 4 more games? Or do we figure out, okay, well, if you can't get it done, then someone else will, and that's the challenge of a good team in competition. So just like me, I have to look in the mirror too. I thought that we all had to go back and look in the mirror, what aren't we doing or what can we do better, and then just get better. But our players took that personal and have to do it, but there's things that we do. Like, we're a pretty good defensive team. We have been an awful defensive team the last couple of weeks. We played a really good defensive 3 quarters at Washington, but, like, we're a defensive team, and, like, that's how we create offense, and that's what we do. And so right now we aren't doing that. And, like, I don't care about us scoring 70 points. I care about us giving up 70 points or letting someone shoot 70% from the 3. That's not what Arizona does. So, like, we can't do that. So holding people accountable for that and stuff is what we have to do, what I have to do as a leader.
Oh, sorry.
No, that's okay.
You mentioned a really good week of practice. What's been the difference in this practice like this week than you've seen in weeks past?
Because we don't have starters. So everybody's trying to earn a starting spot. So there's a completely different sense of urgency. There's a different energy. There's a different demeanor because of that. I think that's one of the reasons. And because, like, everybody knows they have to step up. I think there's other reasons, but I think that's a really big motivating factor. And, like, we'll decide them in a day or two, but they're not decided yet.
Do you chalk up any of this to kind of resting on what you guys did last year, that some of the girls are saying, hey, we'll get it going or something like that?
Well, no, what I'm thinking about, and I think that it's been in a lot, like, psychologically with some of the players, is last year we hit this wall, and, like, stuff hit the fan, and there was a stressful moment, and it was about 2 weeks ahead of what now, or about a week ahead of now. And then after that, everything clicked, and we were incredible. So I think some players are, like, right now you feel stressed as a player because you've played a long time. You still have a long way to go. I mean, the tournament's a month away. You're at the end of your season. Like, you need to finish strong. There's a little bit of pressure because you can want to finish in the spots you want to. Like, we don't put the pressure, but I think they put pressure. And then it's like the Pac-12 tournament. So this is a time, and then there's tests. You're going to miss school next week. There's a lot going on. A lot of projects are due. We've been on the road a lot. So it's just a really stressful moment across, like, I'm sure Tommy's going through it. I'm sure everybody's going through it that's in season right now. But you have to figure it out. And I didn't want us to, like, have to go back and revisit what happened last year. I don't think that's necessary to be successful. So I think just addressing it and fixing it right now it's just more productive because we're capable of winning a Pac-12 championship. We're capable of making a deep run, but not if we don't play hard and not if we don't play with fire and stuff that we always do. So I think that fire was reignited the last couple of days for sure.
PJ and Kim?
Do you ever remember going through something like this as a player and maybe Joan doing something to help you guys through this?
It's been so long, but I don't remember that. But I feel like my generation was completely different with coping skills. I feel like the work ethic was completely different. I feel like handling adversity was completely different. Like, if I would have called home to my parents and said, my coach is not playing me, my parents would have said, well, you need to get better. You're shooting 24%. Like, they would have, like, said, you can't use your left hand still. Like, are you working on it every day? Like, you're not shooting the ball, and until you stop missing 5 layups a game, don't complain about your coach. It's like I wouldn't have been able to, like, I didn't have a shoulder to cry on. And I think it's very different with this generation and the parents. Overall, I'm just saying in general, and I think there's just a lot more excuses. There's a lot more, oh, I can't do this. Like, it wasn't a choice for us. Like, we got the crap run out of us, like, all the time. And there was no one to talk to. There was no one, like, there wasn't evaluations at the end of the year. It wasn't like that. So I think it's just different. So I think kids today learning how to cope with stress and learning that this is life, learning that you can't have body language. It's more for your life. Like, it's not only for basketball. Because I get when most people are upset and have bad body language, it's usually because they're upset at themselves, but it's more for life. Because when you're out in the real world, you can't come in angry every day and keep your job. You can't be unapproachable. You can't be mad every time you make a mistake and let everybody else that's affected. You can't. You have to be a team player. You have to come with a good attitude. People have to want to be around you, or else you're not going to be successful. So I think it's just they're correlated, and I think teaching players, like there's a right way to act and a wrong way to act, and you have to do what's right. And it's hard, and sometimes you may feel that it's that you're not doing something. Like I can say personally, one of my hardest years was the year we won a national championship with the Storm. It was like it was my hardest year. I just came off ACL. Like I was crying, I was upset all the time. I had lost my starting spot. Our team was rolling, and like we won a championship. But like for me personally, it was really hard. But like I wasn't gonna go in the locker room and not be happy because I'm not playing, or that's not being a good teammate, and you can't do that at work. You have to celebrate each other and do those things, and sometimes you have to fake it till you make it, and that's okay. But that's what you have to do in life. So I just that's what we do. That's what we're working through. So kids like learning to cope with stuff, learning that life is going to be harder when you're out of here. Like right now, we manage your schedule. Yes, it's hard. You have tests, you have basketball, you travel. It is challenging, but the real world and finding a job trying to pay your bills and take care of your family is a lot more challenging than what you're going through today as a student athlete. So you got to learn and learn how to cope.
So USC, you guys had issues with there, and UCLA is, trying to salvage at least some postseason hope, even if it's NIT. What are you looking forward to?
So they're very hard games for a couple reasons, because everybody overlooks people once they look at their records, and we did that a little bit at Washington and Washington State. UCLA is going to be a hard game tomorrow. They're a good team. They haven't played their best, but they also haven't been together a whole lot. So now it's another week they've been together. They're a dangerous team, and I think the teams that are hungry, have nothing to lose and just can play, I think are harder. And UCLA's in that position right now, but they're much better than their record. So we have to approach that game just like it's the best team in the country. We approach every game and respect everybody, because we lost on Sunday against Washington State. That was a game we should have won. So hopefully we learned our lesson. And then the USC, there's no excuse. I don't want to sit there and say we didn't have two starters. We didn't. But that's an excuse, because we have enough good players to win the game. And they kicked our butts. So these are two, that'll be a revenge game. And these are two hard games. But it's going to tell me where we're at. We just lost our best player. So how are we going to respond? Because this can be the reality. So we need to figure it out. And then we need to win 2 home games this week to put ourselves in a good situation. So I'm really curious how we're going to respond. And I think we're going to respond very well.
And how much do you think you need to show the committee that if you don't have Kate going forward, that you can still?
I honestly haven't even thought about that. I haven't thought about that, because I feel like we have to show ourselves. Because in my opinion, if we don't play with confidence well this week, it's going to be very hard to play good in the Pac-12 tournament and very hard to have momentum for the NCAA. But for the NCAA, different, because we have more time to practice and get her back and just time. But I think for us, psychologically, not even for the committee, like I don't even think about that stuff, because I can't control that stuff. We just have to do our best, and we have to get better right now. So we need to play good, win these games. We have to be able to be at the point where win the games we're supposed to, and like learning how to do that. And so it's going to be a test this week. But I think very important to show how we play. If we go and play 2 great games, I think that's going to impact like not the rankings and stuff, but the seeding and all that. And that's the reality. Whether it's pressure or not, that's kind of, it is what it is, but we have to find a way to respond. Just like you go in the NCAA tournament, you lose, you go home. Just like Pac-12 tournament, you lose, you go home. So we have to play good basketball right now, and we have to catch some momentum. And we have to see and learn what we're going to be like without Kate. Like, it's going to be a little different. So who's going to step up? How are we going to step up? What are we going to do? How's it going to look? I don't really know. I honestly don't. So I'm curious, too, to be honest. I'm trying to tactically just put us in situations where, like, we can use people in the right way so they can step up. But I don't know who the starters are yet, so I'm not sure how to do that yet.
TJ?
Yeah, speaking of Kate, I know that she came back and she was gonna look, I'm under the impression she was gonna meet with a doctor.
Yeah, she already did. She already did.
Probably get an MRI.
Yeah, she already got all that stuff.
What, can you tell us
Yeah, I can't say specifics, but we don't know everything yet. Her range of motion's really good. It's way better than we thought. So it's just a time thing. Nothing can get worse. It's already popped out, it's already sore, so she can't do any more damage. So it's gonna be on how she feels. Is there a chance she can do it again? There is a chance. But, you know, she'll have a brace, and right now it's just, she doesn't have as much pain at all. Getting her range of motion back, her mobility back, and then going from there. But that takes time, because after the first time, it's sore. But I mean, it could be a week, it could be 2 weeks. I think more realistically, it'll take a couple weeks. I probably wouldn't have her come back and push her to be in the Pac-12 tournament. I don't think that's going to help her, unless she amazing, has so much mobility, awesome by next week. That probably won't happen. But very realistic to say that maybe for the championship game in the Pac-12 tournament or the NCAA tournament, that's much more realistic to put her in a good situation. I'm not going to put her in a situation where, like, it's not going to be helpful for her or useful and dangerous, you know. So we're probably looking at a couple weeks without her.
Any more questions for Coach Barnes, TJ?
Are you prepared for the rodeo and the cold?
I did. That's what I was just doing. I haven't had time this morning at 9. They're all like super far from my house too, so I like booked it to Boot Barn and I got myself together. I found stuff. I was stressing out because I have a big foot, so I have to wear men's like 11 and a half. So like I had to get like men's boots, and of course I couldn't get the cute women's boots. I was like, what's going on? So I got boots and I got a little outfit, so I'm good to go. I'm like all for the rodeo. I'm gonna look like a true Tucsonian. Yeah, so you guys will be proud tomorrow, but even though it's going to be freezing. So I was looking for boots for Capri and Mateo too, but I don't think I'm going to bring them if it's so cold. Are you guys going to the rodeo? No, no. Come on, guys. Yeah, I'm probably allergic too, but it's going to be fun. And I think so. So awesome day tomorrow. Rodeo in the morning, and then UCLA at night. And I wanted to say so. Right now, if we get like right under 9,000 for each game, we're going to lead the Pac-12 in attendance because Oregon's like finishing away. So we would pass Oregon by doing that. We're already on pace to do that. We're at like 7,500 for both, and usually there's walk-ups, so we're on pace to do that. But if we get like 9 or 10, then we could possibly finish like third nationally. So depending on the numbers we get, we're already 5, being second in the Pac-12, so we'd move up to 4. And then we can possibly get third or second when I was looking yesterday at the numbers, depending on our crowd. So we want to have a big crowd on Thursday and on Saturday to send Sam off, because she's done so many things for this program. So I'm hoping we get a lot of people.
Which of your seniors and or non-seniors, who's participating in the senior activities?
Yeah, so the senior activities, I mean, they're all going to participate, but we're celebrating and sending off Araya, who's in grad school. She's a 5th year. And then, you know, Bendu will be walking. I'm not celebrating Shayna right now because Shayna's coming back. And then, obviously, Kate's coming back. So their family will be here, but not celebrating them. And then Sam. So Sam, obviously, big celebration. She's been here the whole time. She's the only one left in her class. Isn't that amazing? The only one in her class. But she's done so much for Tucson and so much for this program. So I want her to have an amazing day and just really celebrate her.
And Samaje as well.
Yeah, sorry, and Samaje. Yep, Samaje was with Sam, so Samaje will come here.
Yeah, she's with Kate's class.
Yeah. She's going to be graduating, and then she's probably going to pursue graduate school possibly, or she might play a 5th year somewhere. And that's the hard thing about Arizona. It's like you want to bring back everybody, but it's hard when you have posts coming in. There isn't room. And, you know, that puts a coach in a hard situation because you talk to some people early or some later. But as a coach, I wish I could bring everybody back. But it's not a COVID year where we can oversign. So, unfortunately, we just can't because of numbers. So that's always a tough thing because you want to bring all your kids back. So, but I'm going to help Samaje with whatever she needs and whatever she pursues.
Any more questions for Coach Barnes? Awesome.
Cool,
Thank
thanks,
Coach.
you guys.
Everybody will have Maddie.
Yeah, I got my boots. I got my little, like,
All right, Loud Dog, we good? Awesome. All right, everybody, gonna be a quick one with Maddie. I know the men have their press availability scheduled here in about 5 minutes. So that being said, I want to jump into some questions for Maddie. Troy?
Maddie, what has this week of practice been like for you guys?
Just really paying attention to the details. We haven't been playing our best basketball, so just trying to come together as a team and figure out what we need to do to win. I feel like everybody's in the right headspace now. We're just ready to go attack this weekend.
Shannon and PJ?
Idea talks a little bit about hitting a wall. Do you feel that this year, or
I feel like it's a long season. I mean, we go through a lot, especially with COVID. I mean, it's not as bad this year, but I mean, it's definitely a tough season. I feel like we've hit a wall to an extent, but I mean, we're ready to jump right back into it. Kind of talked as a team, got together, watched some film. So I mean, to an extent, we've hit a wall, but we're definitely right back where we started. So we're all good.
So Coach Adia told us that this week you all get it's like a clean slate. You all get a chance at starting and really earning playing time. What's that like for you?
I feel like it's like that all the time. I mean, I go into practice every day trying to do my best. So, I mean, I don't think it changes personally, but I mean, it's definitely good for all of us just to go in there, and it's way more competitive. Everybody's trying to work hard, trying to prove themselves. But I mean, I feel like we do that all like regularly. But I mean, definitely this week to an extent. But I mean, yeah, we'll see.
Any more questions for Maddie? Troy?
With Kate Reese being out, what has that been like for you guys having to deal with Kate not being there?
I mean, yeah, it's definitely tough. I mean, Kay's a big part of this team. She's really important to us on and off the court. But I mean, she's tough. She'll be back. So I mean, it's how it is throughout the season. I mean, somebody gets hurt, next person up. So I mean, we just have to we have to all step up and take care of our roles and make sure that we all come together and be a collective group to make up for her absence. So.
So Saturday's senior day, and so it's the last regular season game for a couple of your teammates, and especially for Sam Thomas, who's been here for 5 years. It's a long time. Been a captain since day one. What does someone like Sam mean to you?
Man, Sam's a great person, even better teammate. So, I mean, having her, kind of her, like, helping me throughout this whole process, I mean, she's great. She helps everybody on our team. When you need something, call Sam. On the court, off the court, she's just a very, like, reliable person. You can count on her for anything. So, I mean, it's definitely going to be tough seeing her go, but, I mean, she's on to good and better things. So, I mean, it's good for her, exciting for her, but we're definitely going to miss her.
We have time for one more question for Maddie.
what are you guys expecting this weekend? I mean, you lost to USC last time.
I mean, we're going to go out there and play our best basketball. We're all, like I said, in better headspace. We're ready to go out there and compete. So, I mean, we're trying to win every single game. So I don't think we think about the past and how we lost, whatever. Like, yeah, obviously we have revenge, but, I mean, it's just like any other game. We got to go out there, play hard, and be very tough. So this weekend's going to be a good weekend.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Maddie.
Thank you.
Everybody.